Hey, what's going on guys, it's Bagas here, and today we're doing another top 10. First one in a long while actually. This time I'm going to be ranking the top 10 best looking dinosaur documentaries. As the name suggests, the documentaries will be ranked based on their aesthetics, primarily the overall visual quality, creature models, animation, all that lovely jazz. Now, I should preface that what I consider aesthetically pleasing will be different to someone else's point of view. And unlike other categories, there isn't really a good way to do this objectively either, at least as far as I know. Also, I should note that by the time this video comes out, Prehistoric Planet has most likely been released, but as of writing and recording this video, it hasn't. But just know that it'll most likely be in the top 3, from the clips we've seen so far. Okay, let's be honest, it would have probably been at number 1. Let's not kid ourselves here. One last thing is that this list was actually harder to construct than I initially expected, and the entries are actually quite interchangeable with each other, and I also kinda ended up just choosing the ones that I wanted to talk about. So if there's a documentary that you feel should be in a different position, or there's one that you think should be on this list, let me know down in the comments below. Anyways, with all that aside, let's start the list. What better way to start off the list than with Walking with Dinosaurs? First time it's made it onto the top 10 actually. Despite it being released over 2 decades ago, it still looks really good after all these years. Obviously the quality of the CGI has started to show its age in there, but for the most part it still holds up pretty well, and heck, it's better than some newer documentaries. Also, the practical side of the visuals definitely add to its value because it has that kind of real element to it that enhances the visual experience. Also, it'll be a disservice if I didn't mention how this documentary revolutionized the genre, not only in terms of the content but the visuals as well. Keep in mind that this was pretty much the first dinosaur documentary that did the nature documentary format, which is very heavy on the visual side, and they succeeded in not only making the format work, but look absolutely amazing, especially for the time in which it was made. Really, I can sing the praises of Walking with Dinosaurs' revolutionary status all day. But for now, since we're only at the number 10 entry, which means we've literally just started, I'll just say that without it, the visuals of dinosaur documentaries might not have been what it is now. Naturally, the next entry in the Walking with trilogy takes the next entry in our top 10. Walking with Beasts improves everything that was already great about Walking with Dinosaurs and elevated it to an even grander level. Everything from the models to the animation to even the skin textures are vastly improved, although I will say the Australopithecus are the one exception to this kind of improvement list. The practical effects are also improved, with the animatronics, aside from the Australopithecus, pretty much looking exactly like the CGI models, and they also appear to have a larger range of movement, which means they are used in more dynamic situations, whereas One with Dinosaurs' animatronic usage tended to be more static. The one thing that's definitely improved quite a bit is the animation. The movements are a lot more smooth overall, and there's less moments of awkward animation, and they also play around with the camera more, that further increases the aesthetic appeal. Honestly, like I said, Walking with Beasts basically takes everything great about Walking with Dinosaurs and improves them in virtually every way. The third entry of the Walking with trilogy takes the number 8 spot. Again, Walking with Monsters takes all the great aspects about its predecessors and improves it yet again. It also takes the visuals to another level with whole sequences showing the internals of the animals, which I think some are also done with practical effects, which just makes them even more impressive. The animation and the models are also vastly improved from Walking with Beasts, and the blending with the environment is also very much the best up to this point in the Walking with series. And there's also a lot more interactions between the CGI animals and the physical animatronics that kind of lessens the gap between the two visual approaches. However, I will say that repeated animation is a problem that Walking Monsters had from the Diametrodon segment, but aside from that, the rest of the documentary is pretty much consistently great visually. The first non-Walking with series documentary takes the number 7 spot. The dinosaurs in Dinosaur Planet look all around amazing. It's the first documentary on this list that has the dinosaurs with more bright, vibrant colors that definitely makes them reflect their bird lineage, and they also just look better overall because of it. The animation is also really great and smooth as well, and there's very few weird movements in it. Everything kind of flows really well into each other. Now, the one drawback is that sometimes the interactions with the environments don't always reflect realism, like the animals not leaving footprints while stepping on sand. And also, actually, the one use of practical effects in it does not look too good. Like, it looks terrible, I'll be honest. But I think the quality of the CGI dinosaurs definitely outweighs those minor faults, and the overall bright environment visual aesthetic definitely makes it deserve its place in the number 7 position.
Wow, where did that come from?
The final entry, containing a Woggle series documentary, makes it just below the halfway point. What can I say, it's still probably the best dinosaur documentary series out there. At least until Prehistoric Planet gets released, wink wink. Anyways, Chased by Sea Monsters is the creme de la creme when it comes to visuals in the Woggle series. Not only is everything improved once again, but it's to the quality where it feels like the animals are actually there interacting with Nigel. This is not to mention the difficult task of making underwater objects look realistic. The lighting and refraction on the backs of the animals perfectly captures the appearance of an underwater object, and it's really impressive that they did this to such a large scale. Speaking of larger scale, the uses of practical effects are not only improved and they look exactly like the CGI models, but are also used in a much larger scale, with Nigel physically interacting and moving around with them. That further sells the realism of it all. Also, like Woggle Monsters, there are full CGI sequences that look spectacular. This is undoubtedly the peak of the Woggle series when it comes to visuals, and it rightfully deserves to be considering the huge amount of skill that is required to make these aquatic animals look realistic.
Her injury will heal.
From one sea monster to another, A Prehistoric Adventure makes it into the top 5. This film is quite unique in its visual appearance, as most of it contains simple yet elegant and beautiful imagery. The CGI and the models also look fantastic, and the movement through the water is particularly smooth and again has that elegant, simple feel to it. Also, I gotta give credit to the filmmakers for pulling out the 3D effects really well, and they also, I don't know, they just feel very smooth. They managed to have it clearly present, but it still looks good and pretty much unnoticeable in 2D. Honestly, it's just something about the simplicity of the visuals that gives it its own unique vibe. Like, there's nothing really outlandish when it comes to the cinematography, it's pretty much the basics for the most part. But I think that's what makes it work as well as it did. Because it's so simple, it kind of just, I guess, engages with the audience more because they can just follow along and enjoy the adventure. Just shy of the top 3 is March of the Dinosaurs. Now, if the previous entry is good for its simple yet elegant cinematography, this one is the exact opposite. The cinematography has a very distinct flavor to it that combines simple shots with greater, more impactful visuals that gives it an almost grander scope. Each shot feels important because it feels like they're representing something, some visual metaphor if you will. Also, the quality of the CGI looks amazing and the animation is probably the best we've seen so far, and just the way the dinosaurs move and have little micro expressions adds to that sense that these are real creatures that once lived on this earth. The film also utilizes contrast a lot in the shots, not only to represent the different conditions between the Arctic and the migration lands, but also to give deeper meanings and symbolisms to certain shots. The visuals overall just look fantastic and it definitely deserves its spot in the number 4 spot on this list. Kinda messed up the sentence, but we'll ignore that. Now I'll be honest, these top 3 in my opinion are on the same level, so they're basically interchangeable with each other, depending on which visual style you prefer. The dinosaurs in Planet Dinosaur are the most detailed I think I've seen in any show. In the close-ups, you can pretty much make out every individual scale from each other, and there's even some micro details like scars and scratches on the dinosaurs' faces. The dinosaurs also have unique and interesting patterning and coloration that makes each one feel distinct, but it's definitely more muted compared to a lot of other dinosaur documentaries with more brighter and vibrant color palettes. Also, the dinosaur models are not only detailed, but they just look amazing from a design perspective, and quite accurate as far as I'm aware. The only downside is that cinematography is kind of messy and all over the place, so that does lower it a bit, but the amazing dinosaur designs and the level of detail definitely makes up for it.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Taking the penultimate spot on this list is T-Rex: An Evolutionary Journey. Appropriately, the most modern dinosaur documentary makes it into the second place entry on this list. While the previous entry strives for more detail, T-Rex: An Evolutionary Journey strives for more of a balance between detail and palette. The documentary just looks great overall. The dinosaurs look very, very great, and the animation is smooth, and it's just in general a visual masterpiece. The dinosaurs also have bright, vibrant colors, which suits really well with the overall bright tone of the documentary, and the documentary also pulled off the feathered look, probably the best out of the ones we've seen. Also, one thing I appreciated was that they managed to make all the dinosaurs look very distinct from each other so that we can more easily distinguish between which species is which. And considering the fact that we have several very similar looking Tyrannosaurus species, the distinctions in shape and feather patterning definitely helps to differentiate each one. T-Rex: An Evolutionary Journey strives the perfect balance between detailed models and a bright color palette that work really well. The title for the best looking dinosaur documentary, in my opinion, goes to Dinosaur Revolution, and I guess by extension Dinotasia as well, but that's not really a documentary. This show fully leans into the palette spectrum, and the dinosaurs look absolutely amazing. Every dinosaur in this show has either bright, vibrant colors that contrast with the environment nicely while still fitting in with the overall tone, or the darker colored ones have unique patterning that makes them distinct and still kind of feel vibrant. The designs are also amazing, and there's also a lot more instances of sexual dimorphism, which further makes the dinosaurs feel distinct from each other. And there's also a lot more speculative features that definitely makes the dinosaurs stand out and feel unique. In general, the show just looks visually great, and there's also some really great cinematography that further elevates the visual experience. Honestly, Dinosaur Revolution is the culmination of every great visual aspect of all the previous documentaries. Great designs, bright colors, smooth animation, cool cinematography, unique style, and it's basically the pinnacle of a great looking dinosaur documentary. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And holy crap, that was a one heavy experience to record. Turned out to be a lot heavier to record than I initially expected. And yeah, my voice is kind of dead, I'll be honest. But yeah, so turns out actually writing a visual assist was way harder than I thought, because like for most of the entries I kind of had the same things to say for each one, so I kind of had to find ways to make them different. So I also kind of ended up making up stuff that just kind of popped into my head. So yeah. But I'm worn out because dear God, that was definitely one. I'm trying to find the word here. That was I one huge endeavor. That's what I'm trying to find. One huge endeavor to record, and especially to record in marathon, because holy crap, that was long. But regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'm messing up because my voice is tired. I'm gonna rest my voice after this, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.